Recorded live at Carolla One Studios with Adam Carolla and board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist, Dr. Drew Pinsky. You're listening to The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The church are going to mandate you get it on. Dr. Drew's board-certified in New York City.
Yeah, buddy.
What's going on, Drew?
Yeah. So I think of you a lot when I'm walking through here and watching the headlines and wondering, what does Adam think about that? And of course, Eric Swalwell is top of the headlines these days. And the ultimate, there's like giant question marks over my head, as they always are.
Uh-huh.
And so one is, here he is with Adam Schiff in an old video talking about the importance of, propriety and being sort of ethically appropriate and stuff. I mean, I don't understand, I guess, sociopathy. I don't understand how people say that shit into a microphone when they know what they're up to.
I think they say it into a microphone because they know what they're up to. I was kind of examining my own position on such subjects because I've had a microphone in front of me for 30 years and I've never said shit about women's rights or protecting all women or men need to be prosecuted. I've never said a word about it. I'm not interested in it at all. I would be interested.
Guilty.
Yeah, well, but I've told you a million times.
Dancing.
No. Here's what I've said to you, Drew. I can sound like an asshole and I can sound racist all the time because I'm not.
Right.
I realize that my position, I know maybe we're oversimplifying this, but I'd like to get into it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I
do no pretending to be nice ever. I never pretend to be nice. I don't say the stupid, all children are special and everyone needs a seat at the table and we're all God's children. I never do the every woman deserves to be protected and nobody, I never say anything nice. I really don't in a sort of broad way. I'll say to people that earn stuff, that guy's smart, that guy kicks ass, that guy's good, and I'll go, that guy's a lazy dope. I'll compliment you if you earn it, if it's merited. If it's not, then it's not. But I don't have any broad, sweeping niceties, about all people. The Armenian people are some of the most hardest work. I don't give a fuck about Armenians. You know what I mean? And women. Listen, here's my statement with women. There's plenty of shit, bitch, fucking lazy liars, and they're all women. And then there's some good ones. Are we done? Okay. I'll say the same about white people. Black people commit too much crime. Get your shit together. Okay, I don't do any of it because I don't think that way in my head, because I've never done anything to anybody. These fucking people have done shit to people, so they have to get up and I don't know if it's overcompensate, but there's something going on. I'll tell you the other thing, Drew. You and I talk about this off the air all the time. I've never said to anyone, you better treat me with respect. You disrespected me. You disrespected me. You don't think I'm smart. You think I'm a loser? I think you're a loser. How about that? I never said, you know why? Because I don't feel that way at all. I walk into a big warehouse, I drive a fancy car, and I'm a millionaire. So I don't have any of those thoughts. You people must have a lot of those thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the fat black chick who's on Snap is having a meltdown at the KFC because they don't have the right dipping sauce, and she's screaming, "You're disrespecting me." That feels like all compensation to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Neither of us have ever said those words. I mean,
so when these guys get up and lecture about women, it's okay. There's two parts of it. There is the guy who is abusing women, who's basically it's Joe Biden accusing Trump of being a crook and using lawfare to take down his political opponents. You know what I mean? Like lawfare. That guy's been convicted 34 times under your fucking regime for nothing. Some sort of, I don't even know, some sort of bank payment or some sort of appraisal of an estate or something, real estate. I don't know, something that anybody who's ever done a real estate transaction has been involved with. You guys, that's your thing? Like they literally go, he's been convicted 34 times. Like for what? Paying off a hooker in 34 installments?
Yeah.
All right. So there's two types of politicians. They're the ones who do it themselves and overcompensate. And then there's just the pandering pussies who just get up. It's just all lip service about women and dignity and and then, by the way, guess who's going to protect women? Me.
Right.
I'm going to protect women and children and people of color and the gay community. I'm going to protect them. I will.
But maybe with all the pandering, the guys that are guilty feel like if they don't participate in the pandering, they'll look guilty or something.
Yes. There's something going on in their head. And it's the exact opposite of what's going on in my head, which is, and I know I'm sounding like a pompous ass in this. I've never done anything to a woman. I've never done anything to a black guy. So I can say whatever the fuck I want. You can't there's nothing you can go pull up on me. I can say whatever the fuck I want about COVID. Go find the tape. Go find the tape then of me screaming at everyone to get vaccinated or put their mask on or whatever bullshit you guys lied about. I can say whatever I want because there's nothing out there. There's just me being right and not doing anything to anybody.
Let's go back to being an asshole part, which is you're not as bad as like Trump, right? You don't go out of your way to be provocative or just say shit that. What did he have lately? He took off after the Pope, and I haven't seen this meme yet, but I heard that he had something where he's looking like Jesus Christ or something, and he went back and went, "Oh, I thought it was me as a doctor." Meme. I think that's. I got to look that up, but I think that's what had happened. But the point is, you may not be nice per se. You're not dancing in the intro to the show, right?
Yeah, that's Ellen. She's super nice.
And Cosby.
Oh, and Rosie. Rosie was super nice. Oh, you ever see the old version of Rosie? I mean, your fucking head would explode.
With the Muppets. Didn't she have Muppets on stage with her?
She was part of the Cutie Patootie Chub Club. Yeah. Fine old Rosie. Old Rosie cutie. Listen, I got divorced.
Talk show. Her daytime talk show.
I got divorced, and my ex wanted me to sign an NDA.
Wow.
I'm the celebrity. I'm supposed to have her sign an NDA.
Wow.
But I don't have any. She doesn't have anything. There's nothing I've ever done. Right. I'm the celebrity. I'm supposed to have her sign the NDA. She wanted me to sign an NDA. So that's how I think of myself.
It's so good.
It's rich, Drew.
It's rich. Yes, Grandpa. It's rich.
So, let's see old cutie patootie. Let's see cutie patootie.
Rosie with the Muppets or something, or freaking out about Tom Cruise. Remember that?
Oh yeah, she was a different person. Now here's the thing: what happened? Was she nice and then nice all through her 30s and 40s, and then she got mean? I haven't experienced that, by the way. I know nice people, and they're nice all the way through.
Right.
You know?
Oh, gosh. Right, here we go.
But listen, I don't want her with the Muppet because that's her.
That was my fault.
Yeah, shut up, Drew.
Yeah.
Because she's reading a fucking script, you idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, Meryl Streep can be nice in a movie and then mean. I need her at the beginning of her show, you goofballs. That is your fault, Drew.
Yeah, my fault.
Everybody who acts with the Muppets acts nice.
It's true.
All right.
Although in my head, I have this, image of her being extra super
She is, but she's talking to a Muppet and reading a script, Drew.
Yeah, no, I understand. It doesn't make the point. It doesn't make the point. That's right.
That's where you go.
Here we go.
All right, let's see.
And this is the Rosie O'Donnell Show. Today's guests are Cher. And from Multiplicity, 6-year-old Katie Schlossberg. Music from Broadway's Bringin' the Music, Bringin' the Funk. And from Caroline in the City, actor Malcolm Getz. Hit it, John.
All right.
By the way, my friend Daniel worked on the show. She fired everybody. And then fired him eventually. Yeah. She's so happy.
She's precious and she's rare. It's the fabulous Cher. It's the Rosie O'Donnell Show.
And now, here's Rosie.
Oh, look how happy she is.
Yeah, dancing.
Look, she's all smiles. Oh, look at her.
Hit it, John.
All right. She's very happy. I kind of liked her at the desk with her, let's see, Cutie Patootie Chub Club. Anyway, this does not resemble the Rosie that we know, does it?
No.
So what was she doing there?
Playing a character, a talk show host character.
You know what I would argue? She knows how fucking angry she is underneath the surface, so she's overcompensating there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet she talked herself into, Jackie Gleason wasn't a good guy, or Johnny Carson wasn't a good guy. So, I don't have to be nice, to my staff because I just have to be loved by some craziness. I'm sure she was thinking that way.
My friend who worked there just said she was fucking horrible to everyone all the time and fired everybody. It was a fucking total bitch cow. That's all I got. I had the same thing with Ellen, by the way. So what's Swalwell doing? He's protecting women, protecting women's rights. By the way, and let me be clear, because I don't do this. I don't give a fuck what Swalwell did. If he could fucking run this state halfway competently, I would vote for him. I don't care about his indiscretions. I really don't. I'm sure everyone's been up to something. Also, it's unclear, with today's definition of rape, I don't even know what it means anymore. You guys fucked that up by calling everything sexual assault. You called going out for a night of drinking and, going back to the hotel and having sloppy drunken sex. You're now calling that rape. Fuck off. Everyone's done it. And I'm not going to hold that against anybody. He's an incompetent, lying dope. And for that reason, I would not want him running California. If he was competent and had ideas that would right the ship, so to speak, then I'd be fine with him. And whatever his picadillos or indiscretions or whatever we're calling rape now, I wouldn't care at all. Why should I? By the way, it's got nothing to do with me. I want him to fucking fix the economy and get the bullet train done. I don't give a fuck what he's doing with the floozies he hires.
Floozies. Yeah,
well,
Grandpa.
what I'm saying is
rich, Grandpa, rich.
Okay, first things first. Everybody, if mostly every male in a position of power has engaged in this behavior before, then what are we talking about?
Well, look, I would argue we're talking about something that historically was tolerated that is not being tolerated anymore, right?
Yes.
And he has continued the behavior well into the Me Too modern age of understanding, so to speak, what the impact of their behavior is. And I'm sure he was part of the group that pushed through the laws that essentially in California use driving laws around alcohol as the threshold for consent. Like if you can drive a vehicle, you can consent. Otherwise, you can't consent. You're impaired.
Mm-hmm. So
isn't that crazy?
Well, I mean, .08 is the legal limit. You can't go past. Listen, don't get me wrong. Fuck all these guys. They're sanctimonious pricks. They get up there and they talk about, they just do that bullshit politician thing. So good that he's being chewed up and spit out by his own. And also good that there's 1,000 hours of footage of him talking about, women's rights and having a daughter and caring. And I love that people can roll all the tape of their bullshit. I love that they roll all the COVID-related stuff. I love all the Fauci COVID-related stuff. I love all the Joe Biden shit about we're protecting the border. I love Khanna up there talking about doing a great job at the border and all this guy. I love that they throw all this shit back in these assholes' faces. They seem to be impervious to it or something, that there's hours and hours of tape of them just being completely wrong all the time. I love the compilations of the news, of all the news anchors defending him in the past, talking about how this is some sort of Republicans pounce, Trump inspired. And I love all the footage of all these assholes being wrong all the time.
Yeah. So that's the part that kind of gets me. If I were a newscaster, I would make a point of saying, hey, I got that wrong and I apologize. I'll do better next time, try to get it right. And by the same token, I don't understand.
Sorry, Drew, real quick.
Yeah.
You and I have kind of gone through this a few times, and I think people should hear it, which is, and it all was the same with COVID. Why don't you just get up there and just say, I got it wrong? Yeah. You didn't get it wrong. You're a partisan hack who's posing as a news anchor, and you're lying, and you're fighting for your side.
They're not going to say that.
Well, they're not going to say it, but they're not going to listen. Drew, I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
Let's just say you and I were talking about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something innocuous, and I was saying, the best way to get to San Diego is just take the 405 and, take the 5 to the 110 to the 405 and just take it all the way through, or take the 5 all the way through, right? And then it turns out it was wrong. I should have told you a better way. But what if I was lying to you because I wanted it to take more time for you because I was going to rob your house while you were gone?
Right.
And then you came back and you were like, hey, man, it took me 5 hours. Hey, man, that was traffic. Don't look at me. No, I'm lying to you. When you lie, there's a part of your brain who, when you're lying, won't go back. When you got it wrong, you got it wrong. That's just you getting it wrong. Like, hey, I took the Broncos in the Super Bowl and Kansas City blew them out. Okay, well, next time. But what if you were doing something? What if you were fixing the game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a different. They weren't wrong about COVID. They were lying about COVID. They were like, Sanjay Gupta wasn't wrong about ivermectin. He was fucking lying about it. And so was everyone at CNN, and so was everyone. So they were lying. And those newscasters in the CNN, whatever, the Fair and Balanced, right down the middle, they're fucking lying for their side. And that's why they don't come back and admit they were wrong, because they weren't wrong. They were lying.
But let me drill a little harder on that. Is motivated reasoning the same thing as lying? In other words, remember, we're in a feeling world right now.
Yes.
Their feeling is my side is right, and they're motivated to see it through a different perspective, their perspective. And it's convenient that they take Swalwell's side, for instance, but it's not lying. And you may disagree with me, but lying suggests a consciousness of manipulation. Like you're distorting the truth on some level.
I get what you're saying. Let me take a quick break, and I'll tell you my answer right after this.
I want to know.
Mint Mobile. I like keeping my money where I can see it, unfortunately. So do most big wireless companies. That's why I switched to Mint, so I could stop paying so much. You don't have to overpay just because that's how it's always been. Mint Premium Wireless plans starting at only $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Their wireless is terrific, and I'm saving money. What else do you want? I only wish I had made the switch sooner. It's Mint, right, Daphne?
If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/ADS. That's mintmobile.com/ADS. Upfront payment of $45 a month for a 3-month, 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
I know plenty of dingbat chicks who are doing what you're saying. They don't fucking, their brain isn't big enough to lie. They're just, they want something, they say
they don't need to. Their motivated reasoning takes them there automatically, right?
Yeah, they don't need to. If they don't want you to buy something, they'll say it's double the price, and if they want to buy something, they'll say it's half the price, and they just that's how they work. You know what I mean? People,
no, but that's not lying, right? Or is it?
No, I mean, there is a thing where they just sort of want something.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And
yes,
and so they can kind of make it so.
I was talking to somebody smart last night, and I was talking about Mamdani here and things like that. And I was surprised at how the motivated reasoning would soften so many of these like outrageous things.
Yeah,
it just
there's that.
Not lying, but it's like, oh no, that's
right. But Sanjay Gupta, who's a doctor, could have looked into ivermectin if he wanted to, and he didn't. Now he's lying. He's lying. It's pretty doable as a physician to look something up. So
well, the fact that he didn't know more about it was weird.
Right. He was lying.
No.
And with a dusting of motivation. Look, with a dusting of I'm over here at CNN and I get which way the wind is blowing. You know what I mean?
I'm going to get my ass chewed out if I don't toe the line. I think I can say that.
I don't know that you get your. I don't think you get your ass chewed out. I think you get sidelined, marginalized, and sort of mothballed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just get pushed. Yeah. You get worked out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're basically you're in an environment that's all vegan and vegetarian, and you come in and you're eating a ham sandwich, and then eventually you sort of show up and you go, where were you guys this week? Oh, we went to the retreat. Oh, I didn't know we were doing a retreat. Oh, yeah, I guess we forgot to invite you, Tim. How's that sandwich? You know what I mean? Like you just get sort of sidelined.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, that I remember when I reviewed Hillary Clinton's public medical records released by her doctors for public scrutiny, they were like, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, I know we got something. Lisa Bloom, who's the daughter of, what's her name?
Allred. Gloria Allred.
You do. I don't like to brag about myself, but I got in a debate with Gloria Allred and I made her look like a retard. And I got in a debate with Gavin Newsom and I made him look like a retard. And it's funny, I was watching Khanna look like a retard in front of just some sort of basic black lady the other day. And people say all the time, they go, this person won the debate or this person schooled you. You do understand Khanna is debating somebody that he and Biden and California and the Democratic Party did a great job on the border. That's going to be tough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, I've told you, I've said this a million times. I would say to my old wife, my ex-wife, she'd go, "Why do you win every argument?" I would go, the reason I win is because I only argue about stuff I'm right about.
Yeah.
So yeah, your fucking batting average goes way up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like it doesn't. Khanna can be the smartest guy on the planet, but if he's fucking arguing that the Democrats have done a wonderful job at the border, well, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll listen to 10 seconds of it or something.
As a regular, everyday American citizen, I feel that I am more likely to be harmed by democratic policies such as open borders. Because
I'm for secure borders.
Okay, but in your state, something like 4,600 or so illegal migrants that had criminal records were re-released from jail. So when we're talking about harming Americans, when we're talking about children potentially being harmed, when we're looking into child trafficking, we have to acknowledge that illegal migration is the biggest funnel for child trafficking. So when we're worried about Epstein with a couple of people, and you guys turn a blind eye to tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies. That's a problem.
We have been for a secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California.
He's for a secure border, except for he doesn't do anything or say anything or secure the border. But that he's for it. Okay, that's a joke. But you let her go on. She's funny.
To tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies. That's a problem.
We have been for a secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California can say that they're for a secure border.
Well, that's a policy I've been pushing for, but let me say this.
Pushes for
Instead of having ICE raids in places like Minneapolis killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and doing raids on undocumented folks here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant, how about we have the focus on the border to stop the terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking?
You left the border wide open for 4 years.
Sex trafficking
on the border
on rich people who are committing significantly less sex trafficking crimes. Not saying that they're innocent, but your anger towards this seems very skewed and very hypocritical. My anger towards
them is because they feel like they're above the law, that they
and
use
so do
their
these migrants that get right back out of jail when you guys let them out.
But I am not for,
they are above the law. They are at a tier that gets to walk free whenever they want.
I believe that if you've committed a violent crime or a terrible crime in this country, you should face deportation.
But you guys don't do it. You believe it, but you let these people go.
Obama had a record of having secured the border, and there were a lot of criminals who were deported. What I don't agree with is what ICE is doing, putting terror in communities. I mean, let me ask you this.
I feel comfortable with ICE around. I'm not a criminal illegal immigrant, so I feel very comfortable. I'm not terrorized by them, and I'm from New York. Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. If there's an undocumented immigrant here, right, came across without their papers, and they opened a restaurant, and they've been
Why? Why are they allowed to do that? Why are they taking
by the way,
that
pause
place
it
away
there.
from?
They came across without their papers, Drew. They forgot. You know, sometimes you go to the airport and you don't have your ID.
You forget.
So you're no longer an American.
Yeah.
They didn't forget their papers. They don't have papers, you fucking idiot. They're undocumented. They didn't leave their papers in their fanny pack in Guadalajara. They're coming across illegally. They didn't forget. What papers did they forget?
Right.
By the way, if you have papers, you can go then get those papers.
Right.
Roll that back. Just listen to this stuff. So he wants to know, what about the guy who forgot his papers? Who's coming
really
across?
Seems like a dope.
He's a dope. He's a dope, and he's being schooled by this woman. But it's also because his arguments are retarded. Okay, so somebody came here. He's going to go on and explain that someone came here. They forgot their papers, and now they started a successful restaurant, and they're paying taxes. I don't want that person deported.
And by the way, the ICE have been very clear. They're only going after people that should have been handed over to them as they left
every
jail.
time. They pick some fucking example that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Let's listen.
You guys let them out.
But I am not for,
they are above the law. They are at a tier that gets to walk free whenever they want.
I believe that if you've committed a violent crime or a terrible crime in this country, you should face deportation.
But you guys don't do it. You believe it, but you let these people go.
Obama had a record of having secured the border, and there were a lot of criminals who were deported. What I don't agree with is what ICE is doing, putting terror in communities. I mean, let me ask you this.
I feel comfortable with ICE around. I'm not a criminal illegal immigrant, so I feel very comfortable. I'm not terrorized by them, and I'm from New York. Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. If there's an undocumented immigrant here, right, came across without their papers, and they opened a restaurant, and they've been
why? Why are they allowed to do that? Why are they taking that place away from someone else?
Right. Let's say they've been here 10 years and they're paying taxes. Do you think ICE should go and try to deport them, or do you think that we should? So we just disagree there.
Because I think that if you're going to go after someone that was on Epstein's
this guy's a lawmaker who doesn't want us to adhere to the law
that he created. This is what gets me. ICE is enforcing the laws that they wrote.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
All right. So let me ask you, Khanna, if I just snuck into Canada and opened a taco stand and worked there for 10 years, you don't think Canada has the right to discover me and deport me?
Mm-hmm.
I like that they always pay taxes, by the way, Drew.
Yeah.
They always pay. They never take anything.
Right.
They always pay. By the way, did you know, Drew, they pay more into the system than people that were born here and have Social Security numbers and are obliged at the end of a gun to pay their taxes? Do you know they pay more than that? You know, the people selling oranges and flowers on the side of the freeway, they actually pay more than you do, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And they commit less crime. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Those are the two things I learned.
It's so interesting to me that it's funny you brought up the less crime part, because this morning I started hearing some discussions about, sane discussions about what we need to do to treat homeless. And part of that discussion included, they're quite violent. They're bringing hammers and machetes and this and that. Do you remember the day when they're much more likely to be a victim of violence? Much more likely.
Everybody.
By another homeless person.
That wasn't a big argument they made. But look, here. Let me give you good news and bad news, according to Democrats. Ready? Walls don't keep any people out. Okay.
Bridges. We need bridges. Yeah.
Walls don't keep anyone out. So we're going to get tons of illegals. But the good news is they pay in more, they use less, and they commit less crime. So it's good. So we should be, Los Angeles should be flourishing since we have the most illegals, right?
Utopia.
It should be a utopia. People just paying in and never using anything.
All
right. I'll show you the Swalwell. I think there's sorry, what was I thinking? Elisa Bloom is the daughter of, what the fuck's her name? Gloria Allred. That's right. I should thank Gloria Allred for inspiring me to coin the phrase crystal brain.
That's true. I forgot that was where that was.
That was my greatest. True. That could have been my greatest moment, Drew.
Yeah.
She was explaining to me why Kramer dropping 30 N-bombs on the stage at the Ice House could help his career.
And then she accused you of not having a crystal ball.
Right, and I told her that's not going to happen.
You said, I think you said, I don't need a crystal ball because I have a crystal brain.
Yes, I did. But here's my whole point. Why was Adam Carolla, who barely has a high school education, able to school Gloria Allred in a legal debate? Because she's so fucking wrong about everything she's talking about, it makes it easy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, she's in that world of motivated reasoning. She's defending something.
I can't beat anyone at chess, but if you're going to come in and tell me 2 and 2 equals 5, then I can win. See what I'm saying? All right, let's listen to this presser.
He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to.
Hold on, you can pause. Let's see. This is Lana Drew's. That's her name. West Hollywood accuser from 2018.
Interesting.
I think she says she was drugged and raped. Yeah. Andrew says thumbs up. Now, listen, All right. So again, he's a fucking douchebag who lied about Trump and Putin. Remember that whole thing where Putin owned Trump and did all his bidding and does whatever Trump does, whatever Putin tells him to do or whatever.
Yeah.
I never get how all that works. Don't you feel if you're Putin, if you're any dictator or leader or despot leader, if you are running any kind of rogue state, would you want Trump as president of the United States, or would you rather have Hillary Clinton or for sure Kamala Harris?
Right. But I think their conceit was on that Steele dossier that Putin had something on him, something horribly, so embarrassing, even Trump couldn't handle it. Which, by the way, I don't think he has embarrassment. I don't think that's a thing he does.
Let's take another quick break. We'll get back to this right after this. HomeServe. Thanks to HomeServe for sponsoring this episode. You protect your health, your car, even your phone. What about your home? It's time to take care of your biggest investment. That's where HomeServe comes in. Regular homeowners insurance usually doesn't cover the plumbing failures, HVAC breakdowns, and electrical issues. For as little as $4.99 a month, HomeServe has your back. It's so simple. Choose a plan that fits your budget, and when you need them, call their 24/7 hotline to start the repairs. I can usually fix my own stuff, but I have HomeServe because it's so convenient, and sometimes even I need a little help. It's HomeServe, right, Daphne?
Help protect your home systems and your wallet with HomeServe against covered repairs. Plans start at just $4.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com to find the plan that's right for you. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
Okay, so anyway, Swalwell's a piece of shit. See, here's my thing. You could remove all this sexual assault charges from Swalwell. He could be a priest that has never had sexual relations with anybody, and I would still say he's a dangerous piece of lying shit. See, that's where I'm at. This stuff is all, I don't know, window dressing. Like, it's superfluous. To me, who lives in a state that he's going to run.
Right.
He's not going to rape me. He's just going to fuck up everything in the state.
He's going to effectively rape you financially.
He's going to rape my wallet. Right.
Yeah. And so what I don't understand, what really has me perplexed is, George Santos, the guy that got in all kinds of trouble for his things, is on the record saying, hey, both sides, right and left, there's lots of stuff. Everyone knows everything. And my thing is, and there's a fund that we pay for to protect these people from their consequences. I don't understand why we don't know. In the days of the internet, why don't we know this?
Yeah, okay.
Why don't we know more? I don't understand.
Express it a little more clearly, Drew.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's a fund we all pay for to protect these people.
The fund is to protect them against accusations.
There's a slush fund that they have to pay off accusers. Taxpayers pay for, and yet we don't get any accountability. When it comes time,
by the way, I did not hear that it was all payouts, but it might be. I just heard it was just a general fund that they use to defend themselves against these accusers, so-called. And whatever it is, I don't understand. I guess if the accusers take the money and then sign an NDA or something, I guess. But even so, why don't other politicians speak up about this?
Well, okay. Some of them are using the fund, and some of them are friends with people that are using the fund. Yeah, it gets floated every once in a while that we should have disclosure. We should know who's using the fund. All right. Yeah. Basically, there is a fund that Congress has of money that they use for these cases and allegations and payoffs and things of that nature. And they vote every few years to try to make that information available, and they vote against it. Because who the fuck would vote for it?
Right.
So that's all you need to know, everybody. We have 42 seconds of Lisa Bloom that Andrew's chomping at the bit. He's fired up. He hates Swalwell, so he's going to town here. So yes, that is not right. Also, sorry, keep going.
I want to say something now directly to Mr. Swalwell. Your recent statement that you are just not perfect, you are not a saint, is just blather and spin. Stop it. Your statement that this is all just a matter between you and your wife is laughable, if not for the fact that it is a slap in the face to the victims. Your statement yesterday that you just made, quote, mistakes in judgment.
Pause it for a second. That'd be weird. Your mom is a fucking hack lawyer who's never been inside a courtroom and just extorts and sues people for a living. And then you just go, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get fucked up plastic surgery and have retarded press conferences and extort money out of people and never go into a courtroom like mom did. That's a weird legacy. All parts of this is confusing for me. Lisa Bloom's a piece of shit, and her mom's a piece of shit too.
I will defend her.
Go ahead.
She litigates stuff.
All right. Well, then I stand corrected.
And I believe she does criminal law. I may be off on that, or at least she is involved in those kinds of cases. I think.
Tell me when the last time Lisa Bloom was inside of a courtroom. So says Drew's a staunch defender.
Well, I just think, look, here's what I was thinking, actually, is I know she would normally be like a Swalwell disciple or advocate, right? And the fact that she can go so hard on behalf of her client against one of her guys, I'm like,
she's not going like so hard. Her mom would do the same thing. That just have these retarded press conferences.
Okay.
It's not going hard. This is all for the cameras. First off, why do you have to have a press conference?
Good point.
Thank you. You don't need a press conference. You just go fucking sue the guy. Or criminally go after him. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lisa was in a courtroom 3 years ago. I was involved in a trial. I stand corrected. Thank you, Drew. In
hey, I got
Pomona.
Something right.
In Pomona, everybody. Mm-hmm. All right. Go ahead. Good job, Drew. All right.
Thank you.
We'll keep going with the presser.
Press
conference.
That it is a slap in the face to the victims. Your statement yesterday that you just made, quote, mistakes in judgment is defensive and minimizing. Stop it. Own your behavior.
All right. Stop it. Stop what you're saying with stuff. I'm going to have a press conference. I'm going to sit. I'll parade these women out. They'll cry, and then I'll get real indignant about you stopping stuff because you're bad. And then you said things. You should have, Eric Swalwell just said you were a serial rapist and you regret nothing. But instead, you said you were innocent and you talked about loving your wife. So you lied. So stop. Just start explaining that you're a serial rapist, you know, in front of the camera next time you release something.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't insult me with your stuff about innocence and loving your wife. You should stop. You need to stop it right now. No more. Okay. That was informative. Was that informative, presser?
But here's the thing about those strategies that she and her mom use. It works.
Yeah, because you're no good, Eric Swalwell, with talking about not being a rapist. How dare you? You should admit to being a rapist. You should have done you should have done that prepared statement from a prison cell wearing an orange jumpsuit. How dare you? How dare you? Let's listen to her super articulate moment again. You had a presser for this to say stop. Your mom would have pressers. They'd always just bring the women out. The women start crying, and then they get indignant about it. But also, listen, You really want to break it down. All the women are like, what's going on? You don't have a cock. You don't know what it's like.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
There's a lot more of this with men because they got dicks and testosterone and power. And then that means there's this. I know you guys didn't rape anyone with a strap on. It's just different. All right.
Wow. We're going to have to dig into that next show. There's not enough time for it.
All right. Let's play her. Let's all listen to the words and see how necessary this presser was.
Directly to Mr. Swalwell.
Wait, start again. She's going to talk to Swalwell.
I want to say something now directly to Mr. Swalwell.
Well, hold on. You can do that. You're not talking directly to Mr. Swalwell. You're having a press conference.
Right.
You could send him. You could
Look
send
at
him.
her defendant's face. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of
all right, play
there.
it. She's going to talk directly to Swalwell by talking into a camera.
Recent statement.
Go ahead.
I want to say something now directly to Mr. Swalwell. Your recent statement that you are just not perfect, you are not a saint, is just blather and spin. Stop it. Your statement that this is all just a matter between you and your wife is laughable, if not for the fact that it is a slap in the face to the victims. Your statement yesterday that you just made, quote, mistakes in judgment is defensive and minimizing. Stop it. Own your behavior.
Well, Paul, by the way, if you own your behavior, you'll be in prison for the rest of your life. So,
right.
As a lawyer, you of all people should be aware. You can't yell, yeah, that's right, I killed him, and I'd do it again. Yeah, you can own it. It's always a funny thing when they go, what are you lying? What's Fauci? Just tell the truth. The truth is I was doing gain of function behind everyone's back with a lab in China with taxpayer money. Yeah. And then it got unleashed in the world, and then I blamed a pangolin. Yeah. And then I lied to everybody. Yeah, okay. Just tell the truth. Yeah, I'm a serial rapist who's going to be in prison for the rest of my life. Okay. Well, just tell the truth. Yeah, everyone just tell the truth. It's always a weird thing when they go, why isn't Joe Biden just tell the truth about Ukraine and Burisma and Hunter Biden? Just tell the truth, Joe. The truth is you're a thief who's laundering money through Ukraine with your fucking alcoholic drug addict son. Well, that's the truth. Why not, Drew? Just tell the truth.
Yeah, I know. I get how silly that is. I know.
They do it all the time. It's like
I do it.
I can tell the truth if I didn't do anything. If I fucking murdered someone or raped someone, or I have a fucking ne'er-do-well son who's skimming millions of dollars off of rogue governments, and no, I can't tell the truth.
Well, but it dovetails.
I'm the big guy, by the way. See the email that says 10% for the big guy? That's me. Yeah, I got that money sitting back in Delaware.
It dovetails into why we're not getting apologies.
Yes.
And I didn't really think about that until you had this tirade.
Yeah, everyone just start telling the truth about everything.
Well, just apologize for what you got wrong, but what they got wrong has liability attached to it.
Right. So anyway, she was talking to Swalwell directly, except for he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's got to back off. Listen, he's a piece of shit. No one cares. But society's kind of laughable too. I mean, it's all, everyone's guilty in my mind.
What?
These press conferences are a fucking retarded joke. All the news anchors covering for him are a joke. Nancy Pelosi saying I had no idea, no one ever said anything. You're all guilty in my worldview. Do you see what I'm saying?
Tune into the next show. I want to hear more about that because that's a big statement. And I want to get some crystal brain input.
You do?
Huh? Yeah.
All right.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra.
Free.
This is the mindset. With movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts, Pluto TV is always free. Huzzah! Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
What's going on there, Drewski?
It's warm. It's like 80 degrees here. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, it's. My wife announced it's El Nino, and I said that's a Pacific thing. It makes it the opposite in the East. I'm like, okay, you just invented that. It seems to me, but okay, I dare not argue.
In New York, Mamdani's getting ready to open those free supermarkets. That's gonna be a good time. Good, high quality. You know what I love? You know what I love with the Democrats?
Yeah,
I love their artist rendering of everything. Yeah. See, here's what they're gonna do. I saw in his pitch, there's a drawing of a happy farmer giving produce to a happy person.
Nice.
that doesn't feel like earning money, and so they want free food. But that's how it's going to work. It's going to be local
embrace
farms,
of collectivism.
Yes, it's going to be local farmers giving good food to the store, and then that food's going to hand it over. Like, you see the artist rendering of what the bullet train looks like.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest is the 7th Street Bridge with all the happy people walking around, and people are playing a guitar, and there's an ice cream stand and all that.
Right.
Except where all there is Mexicans doing donuts and Dodge Challengers while their buddies pull wiring out of the lights and then spray paint and graffiti everything. That's the reality of it. But what Democrats always have is these artist renderings of everything.
Of life.
Of
artist
life.
rendering of humans.
Right.
Yeah.
This is here's how it's going to work. It's like they do drawings of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they literally just draw stuff how they want it, but that's not. The bullet train rendering is awesome. It really looks like you're in the south of France, except for it's a shit show that'll never be done. All right, here it is.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed.
All right, hold on, pause.
Some stores...
Are eggs skyrocketing? First off, what's eggs? Drew, first off, eggs, let me tell you where I file eggs. You ready?
Yeah.
I file eggs under, like, when people go, I took a Southwest flight to Portland last year. It was $79. This year was $121. I'm like, you got to Portland in 97 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Eggs, there's 12 of them. They're the best thing you can eat. God knows what it takes to get it from the fucking chicken into the container without breaking any, and then into the refrigerated store shelf. And what? It's $3.79? Or, now it's $4.11. I'm outraged.
Yeah. And by the way, they're back down again, my understanding is, but I don't have any direct confirmation of that, but I believe they're back down. But anyway, whatever.
It's under $1 an egg. It's under 50 cents an egg. There's no more nutrition. There's no better you can do. Shut the fuck up. Eggs are too expensive.
Yep. They're great.
Eggs and bread are too expensive. Listen, if eggs are too fucking expensive, you're doing something really wrong in life.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, eggs.
Well, and by the way, most people out down in that part of town are on SNAP anyway, right?
They're all eating for free, and they're all fucking fat. But here's the other thing too, because this drives Andrew nuts, because it's a Nick Shirley thing, but it's driving me nuts too. Those little battery-operated microphones, they have a clip on them. You can clip them on your fucking collar. Put them on. You're holding it like a boom mic. It's not. It's got a clip. They don't have a handle. They have a little spring-loaded clip. Everything I shoot, Andrew goes, here's the mic, and then you can just clip it on your collar. And it's great. It's perfect, except for the part where Andrew forgets to take it off at the end of the day, and then I get in my car, and then somebody calls, and they ask what I've been doing, and I said, working with that fucking hack Andrew. And then it gets recorded. And then he has to see it in the edit bay. But that's not the mic's fault. That's not the mic's fault. That's the only downside of the clip-on mic. Do you understand, Drew?
Yeah.
Okay, but he has to hold it. Everyone has to fucking hold it like if they're smoking a cigarette or something. All right. Anyway, let's hear what's going on with food.
The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed.
Okay.
Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day, depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be
get away with.
What the fuck is he talking about? Does anyone know?
First of all, grocery stores are tough businesses. They're essentially real estate plays. They don't make a lot of money. That's incredible that he would think that.
Listen, Gavin Newsom thinks Chevron is gouging Californians for the price of gas.
Right.
First off, has anyone ever experienced dynamic pricing where you're being gouged at the supermarket? Like where I pick up a can of SpaghettiOs and I go, oh, it's $1.29, and some guy rushes in and goes, no, it's $1.89 now.
Yeah.
I'm dynamically pricing it. Right. It just here's the whole thing about supermarkets. You just go in and the fucking price is the price. And once in a while, we went into a Gelson's that was in La Cañada, and we walked out. My girlfriend was like, God, that was like twice as much as the Ralph's. And I was like, yeah, it's expensive. And then she goes, well, I'm not going back there. And that's how it works.
Yes.
You see?
That's right.
Okay. But anyway, go back a couple of things. So eggs are super expensive and milk is super expensive. And also these supermarkets are like writing in new prices after people get there already for stuff to make it super expensive. How much for those 2 hamburger patties? $1,800. Well, I guess I got to pay it. Right, Drew?
I'm looking at the price of an egg. It's roughly 19 to 30 cents per egg, depending where you're buying them.
Yeah, but if it gets to 32 cents an egg, I'm going to have a meltdown, Drew. Because that means my 3-egg omelet would almost be $1 worth of eggs. Okay? You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day, depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zohran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that part?
All right. Well,
no property taxes or rent. Well, that of course, that's the major overhead fees for a supermarket.
No, gouging, Drew, is the most costly part. I honestly don't know. There's stuff where you kind of go like, maybe. And then there's, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've been to 1,000 Trader Joe's 10,000 times. I've never experienced gouging. I don't know what it means. Do you know what it means?
No. Milk's about $2 a quart. That's milk.
Okay. Is that the gouge price or the regular price or the one where you don't have to pay rent? Or your employees or taxes or anything?
No, the employees are going to get extra fees. They're going to get an extra high salary.
All right. I always like that they have a music bed underneath these things. So anyway, here's how. Pretty soon the happy farmer's going to show up with the happy lady, and then they'll give them some good food, and then you'll get it, right? All right, let's see it.
Supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you. They'll partner with small businesses and nearby farms and sell at wholesale prices.
Look out.
The job of city government.
That's so good. I keep playing. It's the farmer and the lady. She's nice. She's wearing like gauchos, and he's got a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And we got a drawing of a farmer. So you know it's going to work, Drew.
I like the way they have to put a little dirt on his knee.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, there was
a little dirt on the right knee there.
He's picking lettuce. There was a George Carlin joke from a million years ago that always made me laugh, which is he goes, the back of the advertising for the Acme cream or whatever, I should say acne cream, the blemish cream.
Yeah.
He goes, and in the advertising, like in the magazine or whatever, he goes, and you know it works because there's a drawing of a woman with like dots on her face, and then another drawing of the same woman with no dots. And so that's how you know it works. But it's like, it sounds ridiculous, but isn't that kind of this?
But that's how gullible humans are. But I'm dying to have you put on your crystal brain and tell me what these when he opens them, what are they going to look like in a year? Is it going to be like the 6th
It's going to be a shit show because it's poor, dumb people who are greedy, who are just going to go in there and do whatever they got to do. It's not
so they're
down
going to
and
bring
out
boxes and walk out with stuff.
Yeah,
right?
listen.
Yeah.
This fucking pipe dream of sort of poor but proud, maybe 150 years ago. That ain't it today. Now it's poor, fat, dumb, and grift. That's all it is. There's nobody poor and proud anymore. There's a bunch of people and a bunch of bullshit assistants who are fat, who are sort of arguing that they have food insecurity, except for they're morbidly obese. And there's no more of this Dust Bowl pride bullshit. It doesn't exist. These are people who don't want to work, who abuse the fucking system, who take free shit and have turned to mush and are greedy and fucked up. And these stores are going to be a shit show. They have to be. There's no other possible outcome. By the way, they try it. They tried it in like Kansas City. The fucking stores closed down.
Right.
Doesn't work. It can't work. It can't.
How about the guys that are paying taxes and rent nearby? They're trying to run their stores. What about those guys?
They got to pay their employees more, Drew. Those guys are doing the gouging.
Right. They're gouging. And so we got to get rid of them, which they will do. That's what will happen. People will close up and then there'll be
government
no
will own those
stores.
stores. It'll be better. We'll just play it to the end. Sorry. Happy farmer.
Wholesale prices. The job of city government isn't to tinker around the edges while 1 in 4 children across our city go hungry.
1 in 4 are going hungry. You understand that 25% of women of kids in New York are going hungry? Wow. What does that mean? You think it's stunting their growth, Drew? I've never seen. Have you seen a hungry kid walking around New York?
No,
I've
seen it in Mexico.
Kids.
I've seen it down there. You know it when you see it. There's a whole different thing.
Does anyone ever look malnourished?
Well,
huh?
Well,
no. Are you saying the word no, or are you just going? No. Okay. No, you're saying?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Not seeing it. Okay.
No, I walked around it last night or yesterday. Didn't see it.
Didn't see any malnourished kids?
No.
All right. Well, according to him, 25%, 1 in 4. Did you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. That's a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. I mean, New York's pretty big. Got a lot of kids. 25% going hungry.
They use numbers the way they use those drawings.
Yes, I know. So 25% of kids are going hungry, but 67% of kids are morbidly obese.
Right.
So how does that work out? That seems pretty
And by the way,
extreme to
here's
me.
the thing about hungry kids. They start looking for food.
Mm-hmm.
Like you going to your neighbor's house. You were one of those kids.
I was. And I just went and found food.
Yeah.
At other people's houses.
They would be in the trash cans. They would be outside the restaurants. They would be all over the place because that becomes the priority. Find food. They have huge calorie demands when they're growing.
Oh, my food finding was the valley had a lot of like apricot and plum trees and stuff, and I would just climb up that tree and I'd pick 15 apricots. I just eat them on the ground, And I would
tell them though, when you were babysitting at the neighbors and you would get to open the closet and go at it, what you would concoct.
I would open a can of pie filling, dump it in a bowl, put some like mini marshmallows on top of it, like Toll House morsels. When I babysat, that's all I did was eat everything they had.
I think you said one time you put Count Chocula on top of the pie filling.
I would eat a lot of tree stuff. I would go to my friend's house and eat all the time. And I would also go down to Henry's Tacos and get the broken taco shells, which are essentially just corn chips at that point. You know what I mean? The soft taco had not really been invented yet. They were all hard shell tacos. As a matter of fact, Henry's Tacos is kind of the forerunner of the soft taco. Like they made a soft taco. It was kind of a taco burrito or something. But the point is back then you had to have hard taco shells, and I would reckon about 1 out of every 10 or 15 would break, and was useless to them, and they would have to throw it out. So I would just get
you'd go in the trash can to get it? Or
no, I would go up to the window, and I would go, do you have any broken taco shells? And half the time they'd go, yeah, there's a couple broken ones in the tray or whatever. I'd go, could I have the broken taco shells? And they'd give me the broken taco shells, and then I'd go, could I have a packet of hot sauce? And they go, yeah. And I go, could I get a cup of water? And they go, yeah. I was a great customer. And they just give me this shit, and I would just sit on their patio table and dip the fucking broken taco shell into the thing, because I didn't have any money and there was no food. But it was mostly that my parents didn't have an interest in people being fed, you know? They didn't say, I would leave the house at 9 a.m. with zero money and zero food and just be gone the whole day. And nobody ever said, like, hey, what are you going to eat? That wasn't
how are you going to pay for food?
Or do you need to buy lunch, like, at some point? Like, it wasn't a discussion, which I find very weird now as a parent, you know?
Oh. How about water? Water.
I had a hose in Henry's Tacos, and I had fruit trees. And this was like summertime, and it was good. And then
it's amazing you didn't get something called kwashiorkor, which is protein malnutrition. How did you get protein?
I went to Chris Bohm's house when they were doing pork chops that night.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I would be doing, is hanging around, and at some point, Mom would fire up the skillet, and I'd smell those pork chops, and I'd be like, hey, maybe I'll just hang for dinner, you know? And people were like always kind of like, yeah. Other people's moms were much more invested in me eating than my mom was.
Fascinating indictment.
My mom's famous words were, I said to my mom, there is nothing in this house to eat. And she said, if you're hungry, you'll eat.
Yeah, well, she was right.
She was right. I'd just do it at Chris or Ray's house. And that was awesome. Anyway.
Did you ever wonder why that neighbor had pie filling always on hand? Didn't that seem odd? Or was that just an occasional thing you came across?
I don't know, Drew. Pie filling. People have cupboards, and they have cans in the cupboards. I didn't
pie filling. Just like how many people are making cherry pies? They need their pie filling.
People
that they didn't miss it. Like it wasn't Thanksgiving or something.
Oh, well, I don't know what they missed. They did. Yeah. They did warn me a couple times about eating everything.
Oh, that's funny.
That was kind of humiliating. But
what did you say? What did you say?
You said Thanksgiving. Then one time they had a turkey in the refrigerator, and they just said, hey man, you cannot devour that turkey.
It's like a cartoon.
I was embarrassed, but I was like, all right. Like they had to tell me where the no-fly zones were, because I would, I only got $1 an hour, but I ate like $80 worth of food when I would go there. And they knew. They had to fucking know my mom. They had to know what my house was like, because we were next door, so they kind of got the fucking garbage house I lived in and stuff. So they must have known that I was ravenous when I showed up at their house.
Just out of curiosity, were your like clothes clean? Did you have showers? And was there also telltale signs?
No, kind of we didn't have a shower. We had a tub.
Right.
And no, I was not. I wore just the same thing I wore the day before, kind of thing. I had, it was very limited, the stuff I wore. I would say. But no, I was not well kept. Yeah.
But I mean, would people look at you and think, "Oh boy, that's"?
It wasn't Dickensian, I guess, if that's what we're saying. But it was pretty clear that I was pretty shabby. You know what I mean? Like, I looked. I was not put together, but the shoes were fucking old and fucked up. The shoes were beat to shit, and my hair was always a mess.
And you've never really described who these neighbors were. At least I don't remember. Did they have a normal house? Or was that?
I'll tell you what. Take a quick break, and then I'll tell you the family lived next door right after this. Right. So the Gravich family lived there with Sue, who changed her name to Marie.
Oh, right. I remember
for some reason. Yeah. And then Ed, who, I mean, had twins. There were some substance issues. Son that was blinded by being shot by a friend, and like a lot of. There were issues. There were a lot of issues with.
So the moral is, don't feed your kids.
I think so. I mean, if there was something to glean from this, they moved out, and then and the mom, Dorothy, was super mean. Just a mean. There's not that many people I typify as just what I would call mean. You know what I mean? She was mean. Yeah. She got nice later on in life, but she was very mean back then. Super mean to me. I mean, she caught me picking plums from her tree in her front yard and was angry. You know what I mean? Like it was like I couldn't just show up and start picking people's apricots and plums. I had to see where they were. You know, I don't want them walking down coming out of the house while I'm up the tree. You know what I mean? Yeah. And her plum tree was pretty close to the street, so it was pretty good. But she caught me and started yelling at me. I don't know. She probably could have just realized she had a fucking desperate kid lived next door and was trying to get food. You know what I mean? But she was angry. Everybody's Chris's mom's friend Louise used to police Chris's mom's kitchen. So I would like sleep over, and so the whole thing about sleeping over is I would get up in the middle of the night and go to the kitchen. You know, since there was a box of Nilla wafers in that fucking pantry, you know what I mean? I was going to get some, but Louise caught me in the kitchen a few times. You know what I mean? She started yelling at me.
Spent the night there, Louise?
That was a sort of afternoon type heist. She was over.
I see.
I was making my way into the kitchen, and she caught me in the pantry, and she started yelling at me. Which is again, I could only imagine going over to Drew.
Hey, get out of here!
I couldn't imagine going to your house and having some friend of your son like eating in the kitchen, and me walking in. Excuse you. Did you pay for those Nilla wafers? Well, then you march yourself right. I mean, I don't know what the fuck was going on with all the enforcement. You know what I mean?
These were adults, man.
They were adults.
They came out of the Depression and the Second World War.
You were a fucking kid. And Louise was, and they were all fucking poor and dumb. They all lived in apartments as adults. They were all like kind of divorced or going through it. They were all fuck up, dumb adults. And they were fucking weird and like angry and poor. And so helping yourself to some of their food was a big fucking deal for them. Ray's mom cooked a lot, and she'd made just big, and Ray was a huge eater, and that's why I like going there, because I always ate more than the kid ate, and I didn't like the optics. I didn't like the optics of going for my third pork chop when the kid had one. You
had some sense of demeanor, decorum.
I was totally, I had a total sense of it. I did not want to outdo the kid, ever. So, but Ray ate like a fucking Viking, and his mom cooked, big, German food and stuff. I would go there and fucking nosh down. And she she liked it. She's old school German. It was like, yeah, eat, eat up. My family didn't, the only people, my grandfather cooked. And so when I went to his house and he made like goulash, and I'd get a bowl of goulash. It had fucking beef in it. It had like chunks of beef in it and stuff. And so I would devour the bowl of goulash. And then I would immediately be going, I need seconds. I need a second bowl of goulash. And my grandmother would always explain. My grandmother would go, I haven't started on my goulash yet. Okay? So you can wait. Like they're all super shitty about food and their kids and weird and like also just kind of overtly mean about it, like sort of unnecessarily mean. Like my
like weird, almost weirdly abusive. Like, you know, it's like if they had a stick, you felt like you get hit with it. You know, they don't, but and it's weird. You know, we went the other way. Our generation, Adam, we did not like that, and we did a little different kind of parenting, and I'm not sure that was right either.
No, it wasn't right. I didn't have a choice because of my ex-wife. She did whatever she wanted and just spent my money. But I would have liked to police it a little bit, but I could not police it.
This whole story about food reminds me of the sandwich conversation we had. And so, you know,
let me just tell you something. They're weird little traits where you know someone is mean.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to be mean about stuff, weird stuff. Like my grandma would do little things because she was a mean person.
Yeah.
She would, like, I'll give you an example. If you called her and she was sort of in the middle of something, which we've all experienced, she wouldn't go, hey, sweetie, I'm working on something. Let me call you back in 5 minutes. You'd pick up she'd go, hello? And then you'd go, oh, hey, Grandma. And she'd go, I can't talk now. I'm in the middle of something. And it's like, okay.
Right.
Just say, I'm watching my show or I'm doing something. I'll just call you back in a minute. But she'd get really, like, intense about it and make you go like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to give you an observation that I think will be accurate for you because I remember it when I was a kid. Some of these people, not all, but some like your grandmother would go out of their way to be mean to kids.
Yes.
And they'd be extra saccharine with adults. Like you'd see it. You'd see the difference. You go, what? Dude, don't you know who that bitch is? Why the adults are sort of feeding into it. And they'd go way out of their way to be shitty to kids.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They would. And not only their kids, any kid, other kids. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but then the adults, oh, no. This is like your mom with the, your grandma. Rather,
my grandma, she didn't really have two modes. She was kind of mean. Yeah. I mean, she's sort of that way. Like she didn't do an Ellen Rosie version of herself.
Right.
For the adults, she was shitty to adults too. I mean, she had her stupid friends who she worshipped. You know, she only used her friends to kind of demote you. You know what I mean? She would do a lot of. Emery Kenrick is a professor at UCLA. Okay. Yeah. Meaning, and you're fucking stupid and you don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like it was like a kind of her thing. And it was mostly to promote herself.
Right, of course.
He's a friend. He's a good friend. You know, they do a lot of this guy's a big deal and he's coming over for potluck dinner, you know, and some potluck. By the way, my grandma threw dinner parties where everyone else brought the food.
Oh, yeah.
That was her. And then lots of discussions. And by the way, discussions and mistrust about like a casserole bowl. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, Helen, I forgot my casserole bowl. Lotzie, do you know? Yeah, I'd like to drive here to Reseda to pick up my casserole bowl. It was sort of vaguely, I don't trust you with my casserole bowl. I don't need it. I don't want you to disappear my casserole bowl. It was my grandmother. If my grandfather tried to give me goulash to take home in a piece of Tupperware that was 28 years old, she would fucking slap it out of his hands. He's like, no Tupperware. Give him the jar.
By the way,
get a jar.
You talk about the potluck as though everyone knows what that is. That was a big deal in the 70s. Everyone had potlucks. Those really, I haven't seen that in a couple decades.
Right, because if I said to my girlfriend, we're throwing a Super Bowl party and I'm going to have everyone else bring the food, she'd go, are you fucking nuts? We're not going to do that. You don't throw a Super Bowl party and tell everyone to bring the food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do it. That's how they would do it. My mom, even like toward the end, would be like, Thanksgiving, you're coming over. Yes. Can you go buy Dupars and pick up a pecan pie and an apple? And I'm like, bitch, you don't have a job and you live next to Dupars. Why don't you fucking get, and you're having Thanksgiving. Why don't you go get a pie? Why do I have to bring a pie? I live in Hollywood. Dupars is in Studio City. You live in Studio City. Go fucking get a pie. I work all day. You don't even work. It's a weird. Well, my mom didn't want to pay for the pie.
Right.
What's the whole thing?
Of course.
Yeah.
But
she would ask me at the end of her life. She was like, John and I found a new restaurant. Could you pay for me and John to go out to the restaurant? Because I have money. And she has money too. And so does John. But I have more money. Well, they don't want to spend their money. You need to pay
your fair share.
Right. That's a good woman to be raised by. But if you like food, you're going to be in trouble.
So I want to go back to your crystal brain, and I want to pay that out. And the everyone's guilty comment. Okay, those are the two things I want to talk about. Let's start with everyone's guilty. What did you said that last show? What did you mean by that?
You have all. First off, you have all the people who just feign outrage, who are into this. Gavin Newsom's going to make a comment. I mean, you know what his wife was into with Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So don't be outraged by it. And by the way, it's ubiquitous. Don't be outraged by shit that goes on all day, every day. I know your policy is zero rape. Yeah, your policy is zero rape. Okay.
Of course, we know.
Half the people that walked here in these fucking migrant caravans were raped along the way that you guys created. Is that okay? Sheesh. And then there's trafficking. And then there's human trafficking. And then there's kids. And there's cartels. That's all stuff that you guys facilitate. So spare me. You know what I mean? There's that. And then there's the news part of it that first covers for him by saying there's nothing there, and now it's going to act outraged by it. And then there's all the lawyers that are going to get paid by it. You know what I mean? It's all. And then there's all the women in Congress who's going to explain this is not acceptable and it's never acceptable. And then we'll be here.
So they're guilty of not having defended this guy or not having exposed him sooner or just participating in the pandering.
They all knew what he was up to. They just use him until it's not politically expedient for them to say anything at a certain time, and now it is. So now it makes sense.
Pelosi, man, she's like she's the one that protects him, and now is like I had no idea. Who knew? Really?
No access to that information. Lots of access to stock information, Drew.
Lots.
But not this information.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. I want to tell you about that Nick Shirley thing. We'll do that right after this. So, did you see that there's a law being proposed in California?
Yes. Tell them.
I'll play the clip. By the way, it's the wife of Rob Bonta, the DA, I think, or whoever the attorney. His wife wants to. We've jumped the shark now, Drew. Here's the whole thing. Listen, Democrats, I know you hate it because it's your constituency that is ripping off the taxpayers and you want everyone to pay more. But you have to pretend like you care. You know what I mean? You have to fake it, like you're like you're doing with Swalwell now, right? You're all disgusted by his activities that you've known about, right? You got to pretend. All right, here's Nick Shirley.
All right, check this out. This is a bit crazy. California Democrats advance Stop Nick Shirley Act to criminalize investigative journalism. So after I expose widespread fraud all across America, and quite frankly, states like Minnesota and California are just the worst at it. letting fraud take place, especially inside of immigrant communities, for instance, the Somalians in Minnesota and then the Armenians in California. And so now they're trying to silence anybody who exposes fraud inside of California. For instance, if this bill is passed, the Quality Leering Center that was in Minnesota would be protected from being exposed. That is absolutely crazy. And the crazy thing about this is the person who's proposing this bill, her name is Mia Bonta. Her husband is the Attorney General of California. And so let's say you expose fraud. This is what could happen to you inside the state of California. You could get a misdemeanor, a $10,000 fine, imprisonment, and your content forced to be deleted. That is absolutely crazy. It is time for people to either stand up or we face mass oppression from those that rule us.
The other thing they're doing...
He's right.
The other thing they're doing, Drew, which is something I keep warning everyone about, is they're letting these fraudsters off with a slap on the wrist. Because...
Really?
Well, let's put it to you this way, Drew. And think about the courts, right? That is your constituency, the Somalians. They're the proudest, hardest working people. They built Minnesota. I don't know if you heard. And that's your constituency. And so what you do is you look the other way while they defraud the government, while they vote for you, and then you pander to them. Okay. But at some point, Nick Shirley shows up and it makes headline news, and now you got to do something. So you got to do something about this. So you have to prosecute. Otherwise, you're going to be prosecuted for not prosecuting these people. So you prosecute. Right. But who's the judge? It's a lefty Democrat who lives in Minneapolis who feels like you do. So what do we do when the person rips off the government? Do we throw the book at them? No. We give them the minimum sentence and we let them go. And that way... it seems like the fraud isn't as great as it is because you don't have a bunch of people in jail and a bunch of indictments and things like that. Now, what do you do conversely when we're talking about January 6th? Oh, that's different. Now, you got some veteran who wandered onto the grounds and was just walking around while he's being guided by Capitol Police. That guy's got to do hard time because we need to make a point because we need to pad this. We need to talk about how horrible it is and how many commit. Like you got Joe Biden. There's a clip of Joe Biden that Andrew can find maybe where he's up there and he's going, there's been over 11,000 years combined of court, confinement with these. Oh, I get it. You're padding. You like that. So you're taking guys who are taxpayers, who wandered into the rotunda and then turned around and left, and that guy's doing 4 years. You got the Somali guy who's ripped off people to the tune of $10 million, and they get 6 months. Oh. Well, what are we doing here? We're making our point. You know what I mean? Like, listen. Yeah. If you're an American and you're involved with January 6th, and you get pulled up in front of that D.C., Biden elected or appointed judge, you are fucked. Yeah. You are fucked. But conversely, if you happen to be a Somalian who ripped off everyone for a decade and you got the bleeding heart female, Obama appointed judge, then you're fucking great. Is that how you want the system to work?
Pretty wild, right?
Okay, Drew. Yeah, it's a clip.
No, I mean, it's discouraging. There's just watching Nick Shirley talk about those that rule us and these oppressors and the oppression of the state government of California. It's just so depressing. It's all depressing to me because you feel helpless.
By the way,
helpless and you get depressed.
You know what a lot of this is, Drew?
What?
This is chick think. Because chicks... a guy would go, listen, all this fucking fraud, it's making us look like shit. I wish it would go away. And then someone would go, how about I introduce a bill that says we can't uncover fraud? And then someone would go, you can't fucking do that. You're going to look like an asshole. You're going to look like you're for the fraudsters, you fucking idiot. We have to pretend like we're against the fraudsters. Yeah, but those fraudsters vote for me. I know, but we can't come out and say it. Chicks don't have that fucking governor on them. They'll say, every chick I've been with will say anything at any time. To me or anybody else, doesn't matter. You could be on a ladder with a circular saw above your head working, and they could be laying on a bed eating chocolate bonbons. And if they got mad, they'll go, I do everything around here. That's every woman I've ever met. So it's possible. They're capable. They're capable of.